Madayao, I'm Joey and welcome to my beautiful Davao City. Over the past few years, the My City, My SM series has showcased the different facets of Davao City's as well as Mindanao's rich culture, its tourist attractions, its cuisine, and most recently, its artisan crafts. Today, our cultural journey takes us to another exciting route as we take on a different perspective of Davao's vibrant visual arts scene as we launch My City, My SM, My Art at SM Lanang Premiere. When My City, My SM, My Art made its first stop at SM City Davao 2 years ago, we learned how Davao's beauty and bounty has brought together a diversity of cultures, the indigenous people, the Muslims, as well as the Christian settlers that live harmoniously. Davao's colorful artistic heritage stems from the rich culture of the 11 tribes that call it home and take pride in their ethnic art, which encompasses music, dance, religious ritual, dress, and ornamentation. As part of beautiful Mindanao, Davao attracted many Christian migrants from the Visayas and Luzon who were drawn to its impressive tropical rainforest, fertile valleys, and great biodiversity. While there were Christian settlers as early as 1848, it was during the American rule in the late 19th century that more settlers came to Davao. Many were lured by the prosperity offered by Davao's beauty and fertile lands, especially its abaca and coconut plantations. While today, Davao and the rest of Mindanao is home to some of the world's largest pineapple, banana, and pomelo plantations. Davao's beauty and bounty has also served as an inspiration for many artists who have lived, studied, or settled here. This includes a national artist who spent his retirement years in the southern city and made it his home. We will know more about Davao's vibrant culture scene and how the late national artist Victoria Edades influenced a new generation of Davaoeño artists in this special edition of My City, My SM, My Art at SM Lanang Premiere. We're bringing art and people together by showcasing the works of masters, modernists, and millennials in a roadshow around the SM Supermalls. Advocating art for all, we are working with communities to mount exhibits, workshops, and contests in key cities around the Philippines. As a university town, Davao schools have been key in promoting a greater appreciation of arts in the area. In the earlier stop of My City, My SM, My Art in Davao, we featured two institutions that offer a formal education in fine arts. The University of Mindanao, which has a fine arts major in painting course, and the Philippine Women's College, which has a Bachelor of Fine Arts courses in fashion design, interior design, painting, and visual communication. Today's episode brings us to the Ford Academy of the Arts, the first college of fine arts in Mindanao, which was first established by art patron and literary writer Ms. Ida Rivera Ford as the Learning Center of the Arts in 1980. Born in storied Hulosulu, Ms. Ford's childhood took her and the rest of the family to wherever her father, the late Judge Pablo Rivera, was assigned: Vigan, Dumaguete, Sorsogon, and then Bacolod. She graduated cum laude from Silliman University, where she was the first editor of Sands and Coral, the school's literary magazine. Ms. Ford pursued further studies abroad through a Fulbright grant and graduated with master's degree in English language and literature at the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor in 1954. During the same year, she wrote her short story, Love in the Cornhusk, which has been included in many anthologies here and abroad. It received the Jules and Avery Hopwood Award. In 1958, she married Donald Ford, the director of the United States Information Service, with whom she has a son. It was also in 1958 that Benipayo Press published her book, Now and at the Hour and Other Stories. Her other published works include poems, essays, operettas, plays, and other short stories. In 1978, she received an East-West Cultural Center grant at the University of Hawaii. And the school she founded has continued to grow. Recent developments in its academic direction have included arts and design tracks for a younger group of students, as well as further structural developments for existing fine arts classes. Let's get to know more of the Ford Academy and its artists and alumni when My City, My SM, My Art returns. The Ford Academy of the Arts has produced a number of talented artists. Some have ventured abroad to explore more artistic possibilities, while others remain in Davao, continually developing the city's art spirit. And then there are those who believe in giving back and are mentoring a new generation of artists through art education. Ray Bolozos is a Cebuano who has made Davao City his home for many years. A graduate of the Ford Academy, he teaches art to junior high school and senior high school students at the Ford Academy of the Arts. He's also an instructor at Atelier Peniel Fine Art, a workshop that teaches classical drawing and painting method. Also a practicing visual artist, Ray has had several one-man and group exhibits in Davao, Manila, and Ho Chi Minh City in Vietnam.
My creative process begins with drawing. I always make a plan before I make a painting. For me, my paintings are very personal. That's why, as you can see, most or often the person I put is my son. Ako mga subject matter ang nagtackle sa about the things or my environment or what happened to the world at large. The challenges faced by our teacher is how to pass on the knowledge sa mga students. I really like to teach because it's for me, I can learn from it while teaching. Well, several of those lessons nga I want to teach sa akong student is, it is your decision to become an artist. No? Maski nag-enroll ka o pinakamaayong ang art school sa tibuok kalibutan, but kung dili ikaw ang mo decide to become an artist, walay mahimo. Any institution will not say or dili sila ang mag-determine kung artist ka o dili. It's yourself. Ang akong way of teaching in schools, maski sa workshop, is demo. I see to it nga mag-demo ko. Kay maski i-lecture na ko na sa estudyante, there are so many things kaya di nila masabtan. I came to Ford Academy nga pila na ka years nga wala si Idades. Only I knew him through stories and also by reading a book about him. The legacy of Idades lives in me by teaching my students how to incorporate the classical figure with the abstract patterns. My reminders for young artists is this: art is not an overnight matter. Art should be learned, should be practiced, should be experimented.
Desiderio Satorre Jr., who's better known as Banjo, is another Ford Academy graduate who has chosen to give back as an art instructor at his alma mater. He's also an artist of many talents, exploring various media for his works, oil and canvas for his paintings, wood and cement for his sculptures. This allows him to produce compelling pieces that provoke thought and cause appreciation for local culture. Landscape, mask, and historic icons come to life in his hands as art that is forward-looking yet rooted in Davao's heritage. Banjo also works wonders in production and artistic design for the Kaliwa Theater Collective in 2000, Wow Mindanao in 2004, the ASEAN Tourism Forum in 2006, and the Pasko Fiesta sa Davao in 2011. He also designed the Palarong Pambansa torch in 2015.
Akong kinabuhi gid mas naglibot-libot na gid sa art kay mao man akong hilig, mao pud akong natrabaho, passion ako. So naragi ko diha sa wala di ko nawala sa senaryo sa art. Because of experience na ko sa sa theater. So then nag-add sa mga lugar, sa mga lumads, mga moro. So na-choose na ko akong mga subject sa painting na mao akong ipinta kay tungod ganahan ko sa ilang sa mga kultura, sa color, sa mga Mindanao art, sa kuan. So gusto na ko nga i-subject siya kay mas nindot sad siya ipinta tus mapakita po sa uban. Ang pagpreserba sa kultura, ang rule sa artist is dako dapat ipakita na to, i-showcase na to unsa ka importante ang kultura na to na through art express na to dito na mauday ni ang atong kultura, inaani day kadato atong kultura, inaani siya kanindot.
Banjo has also won several awards for his work. He won the top prize in the Cadayawan Davao Mural Painting Contest in 1998, the Federation of Free Workers National Poster Making Competition in 2002, and the Philpost Stamp Design National Competition in 2005. Romeo Dumok III has found his inspiration in computer graphic surrealism and social realism. His works tackle social issues in politics, the environment, geography, and spirituality.
The issues that portray in my painting is more on religion, government, then social realism, and then day-to-day lives, what is really happening in the society. It makes me paint with this kind of topic. It's because it inspires me and it makes my life satisfying every time I express it, being honest and true. I believe a painting can create a war based on the history. I expect my viewers, when they view my painting, as a form of a reflection to them, an eye-opener, by simply looking my painting into positivity and a little bit of negativity in a way that I could change and make a difference. Our artwork is very morbid, to be honest, and then marami kang masasagasaan. If I created something beautiful and always beautiful, everybody is beautiful. So I created something unique to become unique. Makes me different from others. Every time I paint or I create artworks in subject of political issues, I really feel alive and uplifted. The influence of Piedades shows in my work based on my strokes, my colors, and the feeling itself.
Romeo has also found meaning in teaching art. First at the Ford Academy of the Arts, where he graduated from its Fine Arts program in 2005. He's currently an art professor at the University of Mindanao and Philippine Women's College. Jane Ramos develops her craft through learning and teaching art at the Ford Academy. She also believes that art is healing and worked with kids using art for therapy.
Of all subjects that I can have, it's the face that is most interesting for me because with faces, you can paint a lot of things. I mean, you can see a lot of things. Marami kasing gamit ang art, no? Because a lot of artists are using art to express their anger, their disappointments. But art is a blessing to me because it allowed me to express my faith in God and therefore display also the goodness of God, show how good God is and that He is really alive.
Jane has also participated in exhibitions that highlight art as a medium for healing, especially after disasters.
During my workshop for adults, they were so engrossed, they were so focused on what they were doing, and they enjoyed to the point of forgetting the time. It helped me a lot that in your depressing moment or whatever situation you may be experiencing very down, God is there and through art you can discover God. In my few encounters with the Dadaist, I learned this thing that you practice a lot, you paint a lot until you discover what you love to do most. Don't be afraid to go out of the box.
The works of the Ford Academy artist are among those we can proudly share with the rest of the world. We will meet an internationally recognized visual artist who is also a Davaoeño and a Ford alumnus when My City, My SM, My Art returns. Rodney Yap says that he always wanted to tell stories in the context of time and space. In the days of the sun and in the night of the chilling moon, this is art, he says, that inspires to create a better place, instilling love and respect towards creation. A postmodernist artist, he explores symbolism, surrealism, and abstraction, creating contemporary imageries based on analysis and experimentation. A graduate of the Ford Academy of the Arts, he is an art instructor of the Philippine Women's College in Davao. Rodney is also an internationally recognized visual artist. He has joined group shows in the region and has mounted solo exhibits in Manila, Singapore, Shanghai, Seoul, Kuala Lumpur, Germany, Brussels, and Rotterdam. He's the first Filipino artist to exhibit in Poland with his Primeval series in 2013. His works are in the collections of museums, art institutions, and private individuals.
My painting style is an offshoot of symbolism and abstract art. Ang mensahe nga ako ang gina-explore sa art is varied siya. So it just influences our everyday life, our mannerism, our character as a human being, and our passion. Kay ako nagtuo nga ang artist is dili siya naka-box. So dapat siya is liberated siya sa other form of slavery and exploitation. So dapat i-free niya ang sarili. Ang symbolism nag-teach sa tua kung paano tan-awon ang life in general. Dili siya sa superficial or sa external na pamaagi, kundi sa pinaka-essence o sa iyang internal meaning. Filipino artists are resilient and consider that Filipino artists are facing challenges and still they are doing their art, great art. That liberates the way artists think, the way artists create his pieces. Okay, my work is like a child's storybook. It tells a story about our environment, about our nation, about our family, about our emotion. Conveyed in symbolist, surrealist, and abstract manner, my works are fusion with those three movements, art movements, employing colors, employing spontaneity, and employing imagination. My work should be provocative and evocative. I want people wonder and ask why the artist has made these pieces. So that is my artwork.
Rodney has represented the country as the featured artist in the Art Plus Expo in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and was part of the Philippine delegation to the Florence Biennale in Italy, both in 2015. We will meet another Davaoeño artist who has literally gone places with his work when My City, My SM, My Art returns. Although painting was his major, Raymond Tangiday became open to many other paths like installation art, sculpture, and mixed media when he graduated from the Ford Academy of the Arts in 1996. This has allowed him to create new styles and unique works in the figurative manner with a human figure as the main subject. A former art instructor at the Ford Academy of the Arts, Raymond is now a full-time visual artist who works with traditional materials like acrylic and oil paints, wood, cement, as well as papier-mâché, found objects, and indigenous materials.
Bago ako nag-sculpt, nagdaan ako sa painting, sa installation art. Tapos, dumating yung sculpture, ang ginagamit ko yung mga discarded wood, recycled wood, saka driftwood. Mga Filipino ancestors natin, gumagawa na sila ng wood sculpture, lalo na doon sa north sa Luzon. Ang roots ko galing sa Abra, Tinggian tribe, baka doon ko nakuha yung interest ko sa paggawa ng mga sculpture. Dati, mountaineer ako. Pumupunta kami sa bundok, nakikita ko yung mga kahoy na nakatumba lang. Na makita mo yung color niya, aged na siya, maganda yung kulay. Sa ngayon, ang ginagawa ko yung belief and legends and mythology ng mga lumad, particularly yung si Mibuyan sa Bagobo Goddess of Fertility. Gusto kong ipakita sa tao na ang mga legend natin, hindi lang doon kay Maria Makiling, kay ganito. Meron dito sa mga lumad na which is colorful. Usually, makatapos ako ng isang sculpture na 1 month, 2 months, 8 hours a day. Dati ang aking mga sculpture is smooth ang finish, which is traditional. Later on, naging rough na yung aking mga trabaho. Kasi para interpretasyon ko ng modern, kasi si Dada is father of modern art. Ang sa sculpture kasi, kuha ka lang ng kahoy, hasa ka nung carving tools mo, tapos lakas, patience talaga ang kailangan para lumabas yung gusto mong artwork.
Raymond has exhibited his works in Davao, Manila, as well as in Vietnam, Thailand, China, and Singapore. Davaoeños are so talented. We will meet two artists to express themselves in modern media when My City, My SM, My Art returns. Joel Gulaman's canvases show lush landscapes enveloped by exquisite weaves from Mindanao's cultural communities. These are statements as well as expressions of his love for nature and his cultural heritage. As a photographer, video artist, and cinematographer, he sees the world in a brand new light through his creative lenses.
Art is a daily experience na dili siya instant na kakita ka gwapo na picture, mao na siya. You have to experience it, and through time nagadevelop siya og lahi na perspective. Ang meaning niya nagadevelop pod. Sa karon ang pabalik-balik nako nga subject nga ginapinta kining Mindanao fabric, kay sa Mindanao daghan ta og mga major tribe nga lahi-lahi siya og design sa fabric, and which is a very colorful. Mao siya naka-inspire sa ako nga magbuhat og artwork tribute sa kultura sa matag tribo diri sa Mindanao. Gibuhat na ko ang artwork, a mountain represent sa ilang ancestral domain. My best experience during my time sa Ford, mas taas pa ang mga discussion sa art after class. Habang nagkadugay akong study dito, nagkalawom akong understanding sa art. Ako ang experience with Idadis work nga naa sa school. So nagdagdugang siya og na energy sa ako naghatag siya og lahi nga perspective sa visual art. Gusto lang ako na makakita, ma-experience niya unsa pud to akong nakitaan nga dili lang dahil siya fabric o dili lang dahil siya mountain, napay beyond. Ang gusto na pa ako for everyone na ma-experience ang different side sa beauty, dili lang ang beautiful sunset. You have to also appreciate the same location in the evening, during the night, or during the rain. Matag panahon siya na siya lahi nga beauty nga ginahatag.
Joel's works have been in art exhibitions in Davao, Manila, Seoul, Stockholm, Brussels, and Singapore. Brian Cabrera conjures dreamscapes that manipulate light and space in his contemporary art pieces.
The subject matter that I like to explore, mostly human figures, but sometimes I also do landscapes, still lifes. As an art educator for 10 years, I've learned to be able to communicate my insights about art and opinions and ideas about art. I'm teaching grade 4 and grade 5 students, and the challenging part of being an art teacher is classroom management. I give my students a fun learning experience by meeting them halfway. When students get inside an art class, they are expecting to really enjoy the experience being in an art class. Art is important in child's development because it's a good venue for them to express themselves. Okay? At the same time, it enhances their creativity. Creativity is very much part of every aspect of human life.
Brian's unique vision and perspective of the world have brought him several Philippine Art Awards. It is said that true artists never stop learning and that their life in art is always a work in progress. We will meet one such Davaoeño artist when My City, My SM, My Art returns. Yodi Boily Bong Perez believes that his skill as an artist is God-given, and he's still on his journey in discovering God's purpose in his life. And it has been quite a journey for this Davaoeño artist who received his BFA in painting from the Ford Academy of the Arts before leaving for Japan to study for his MFA in Saga University. He says that studying in Japan has instilled in him values like discipline and hard work. Through his training, he was able to find the utmost freedom of expression in his art, which he says will always be an expression of his appreciation of the beauty of God's creation. Bong's works in oil and acrylic feature landscapes, culture, and people, and depict urban social conditions in colorful detail. He has had solo exhibitions in Hiroshima, Saga, and Fukuoka, as well as group exhibitions in Tokyo, Fukui, Kurume, and Saga. Several of his works are in private collections in the Philippines, Germany, France, the USA, New Zealand, and Japan.
My favorite subjects actually are lumads, stilt houses, landscapes, mostly on Davao themes. I have been teaching art for more than 20 years. I think one of the things that I learned as an art teacher is flexibility. I used to be very rigid. I've learned art must be fun. There should be freedom in art. It must be coming from yourself. I believe there are numerous ways that art can be a great tool to change the society. Art can go beyond boundaries, of what we think and what we know. It can challenge what we are doing now. Hindi ko na naabutan si Victoria Edades, but in our school there's a wall there that displays his achievements. Edades also inspires me a lot. Edades excelled in realism as a working scholar. So Mrs. Ford assigned me as a librarian. And in the library there was this easel of Victoria Edades. So I also work inside the library, but using the easel of Victoria Edades.
Bong has been an art educator most of his life, working for 7 years as an art instructor at the Philippine Science High School and presently teaching art and the Japanese language at the University of the Philippines, Mindanao. And of course, he continues to learn about his craft as he continues his artistic journey. We will meet two Davaoeño artists who had the privilege of being trained by national artist Victorio Edades himself when My City, My SM, My Art returns. Bienvenido Bañez Jr. is, according to world-famous surreal and visionary American artist Terence Lindall, the greatest living surrealist in the Philippines. He was the only Filipino exhibited at Brave Destiny, the world's largest surrealist exhibition at the Williamsburg Art and Historical Center in New York, attended by no less than the Prince of Denmark in 2003. Bañez is likewise the only Filipino in the International Encyclopedia of Fantastic, Surrealist, Symbolist, and Visionary Artist, or Lexicon Surreal, listed along with masters Salvador Dali, Pablo Picasso, Frida Kahlo, Francisco Goya, and William Blake. Bañez's art revolves around the reign of evil in the world, the perpetrators of war, poverty, injustice, environmental degradation, cultural decadence, and terrorism. And he expresses all these in a kaleidoscope of psychedelic human and subhuman figures, described by fellow Mindanao artist and writer Philip Somoza as translucent images and luminosity swirling, shimmering, or disintegrating in a world bereft of gravity.
Magandang hapon sa inyo. My name is Bienvenido Bonis Bañez. I'm Filipino surrealist. My Professor Edad is one of my great inspiration. You know, the surrealism, more on colorful, disaster, sublime. The color, one of the great modifier in every soul.
Bañez describes the lessons he learned from Edades as blessings to his artistic well-being. Professor Edades taught me to be more imaginative, curious, resourceful, and resilient. Bañez says, I believe in the power of color and how each hue connects deeply with our human experience. For me, color is incredibly expressive. It is a universal language that speaks for a soul's aura and character. Bañez says, my surrealism practice teaches me creative and innovative thinking, pushing the boundaries of conventional thought through illogical scenes, strange creatures, and bizarre compositions to explore the unconscious self, he shares. Born in Davao City, Bañez studied at the Ford Academy of the Arts, where one of his tutors was no less than the national artist Victorio Edades. He later taught in the same institution and the Philippine Women's College in Davao. In 2002, he won the Asian Fellowship Painting Competition of the Vermont Studio Center in Vermont, USA. In 2004, Bañez moved to New York, where he now lives. Between 2009 and 2014, several of his drawings and paintings were acquired for the Robert J. Wickenheiser John Milton Collection of the University of South Carolina. In 2017, his portrait of John Milton was added to Milton's Cottage Collection. Learning art means seeing the world outside the classroom. This is according to artist Jimmy Ang, who was a student of Victorio Edades himself.
I remember that Edades said that if you want to be an artist, 100% perspiration and 1% only inspiration. Kailangan yung painting mo, yung parang sign mo nga sa pangalan. Kahit walang pirma, pagtingin sa painting mo, uy, ka-Jimmy, ganyan ba? Kasi ang painting daw, magsalita lang daw yan sa, sa audience niya. Bisag naglisod mi, nagpadayon niya kami sa among art. Bisag tulo ka color lang, basta kayo ma-express lang mo itong imong gusto ipinta. Ganahan ko magpinta kung may mga nakita na ako nga medyo dool sa ko ang simpas. Ana lang yun, medyo ganahan ka, ma-express nimo kaysa kung mapinta ka, dili nimo ganahan, di po nimo magawas, di man po siya magawas ang tinuod. Kung tambag sa mga bagong artist, magsugod sila sa kuan traditional. Kay mo to imong tools niyo paadto ka sa taas. Sa art ang pagsupak depende lang sa imo ha. Kung asa gusto nimo o dili.
Today, Ang upholds Edades' legacy in his work by rooting in tradition and exploring innovation using various media. We will learn about the life and times of national artist Victorio Edades, who made Davao his home in his later years when My City, My SM, My Art returns. Victorio Edades and his family moved to Davao City in 1967, following his retirement from the University of Santo Tomas, where he had spent many years as the director of College of Fine Arts and Architecture. At that time, he was already a great Filipino master and considered the father of modern art. During his retirement years, he spent most of his time at his garden in Davao, listening to Shafin as he painted and received friends. He was seen playing tennis on weekdays and on some slow days, smoking his pipe. He also taught for a time at the Philippine Women's College and resumed his career as an artist. His portraits and genre paintings in Davao are seen not to be as heavy or solid as his earlier paintings, and said to be more flat. From Cezanne, Edades grew more interested in the style of Utamaro of Japan and other artists whose charm is in the color rather than solidity. Edades also co-founded the Mindanao Ethnoculture Foundation, which focuses on the indigenous culture and heritage of Mindanao. During his last years, he indigenized the subjects of his paintings. The Uvu and the Manuvu, who live in the mountains of Mindanao, were the subjects of his paintings during his 1976 show at the Metro Gallery. Two of his major works during this time reflect this indigenization: Demosel Davao in 1976, which presents cultural type, and Kasaysayan, a mural for a Manila bank in 1979, which strives to dramatize the theme and vision of cultural identity with the added element of nation building. To the people around him, Edades was more than just an artist. He was a mentor, a friend, family. We are privileged to have with us today one of his mentees from the Philippine Women's College Davao, artist and educator Brenda Z. Barba.
He's a very simple man, quiet. Hindi siya masyadong maboka. He is very dependent on his pipa. Davao is his second home. And when he was here at PWC, he was most loved and liked by the community, especially here in school. Every time they ask me about Professor Edades, I would always say, he's a great artist. I was inspired by him. And then that was way back 1965, 66, and then I came over 1967. When I came into PWC, he already left because he went into painting. When he was dying, he was already weak, and then I went to visit him, and he said, Brenda, when I die, please continue what I have not finished. I was influenced by his mixture of colors. He doesn't care whether he would mix the blue and the violet together, and then you come up with a different combination. We juxtapose all these colors, and that's the kind of painting that he wants. That's why he would always tell children, do not be afraid to use colors. You have your freedom of expression, and from there you can really create a beautiful work of art. Until now, we are doing, and I'm trying to encourage all the students to do the same. You have the freedom to express yourself. Do not be inhibited by, ay, pangit ako mag-drawing. According to Edades, there's no bad art. He has been criticized by some artists, aside from Guillermo Tolentino. Pero when Edades was there, he really fought for modernism. Every home that you see in Davao with an Edades would say that they really liked him. That's the time when the revival of modern art was already in full bloom. Ibig sabihin na iintindihan na ng tao what is modern art.
We are here at Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas in Davao, home to two murals of Victorio Edades. Edades was born of farming folk in Dagupan, Pangasinan on December 13, 1895, the youngest of 10 children. His artistry was evident at an early age. By the time he was in 7th grade, his teachers were so impressed with his talent that he was fondly called apprentice teacher in his art class. He was a model student, having earned several awards in school debates and writing competitions. In 1919, Edades left for the United States to study arts. He initially worked in salmon canneries in Alaska and eventually moved to Seattle, where he took up architecture and later earned a Master of Fine Arts in Painting at the University of Washington. It was also in his stay in the United States that he married American Jean Garrett. While in the US, Edades saw numerous artworks of European artists like Cézanne, Matisse, Picasso, and the Surrealists, and was so impressed by the modernist style that he began to paint in the modern manner. This new style allowed him freedom to fill his canvases with artistic expressions in his own way. In 1925, Edades competed in the annual exhibition of North American artists in Seattle, where his entry, The Sketch, won the second prize in 1927. Edades returned to the Philippines in 1928 and saw that many of his contemporary artists were sadly doing similar themes in a limited technique. Difficult as it was, he continued to express his beliefs and ideas on modern art through his artwork and teachings. The Builders, which Edades completed in 1928, became known as the first ever modernist painting in the country. His choice of subject caused quite a stir at that time. He portrayed tough, dirty construction workers drenched in grime and sweat. His figures and images were done in muddy earth colors, defied classical standards. In 1930, Edades joined the University of Santo Tomas in Manila and helped organize the school's Department of Architecture. Guided by the existing American curricula, he designed the first liberal arts curriculum, which led to a bachelor's degree in fine arts. This was a first in the Philippines, since art was only taught in vocational schools then. Owing to the immense contribution of Edades, the University of Santo Tomas became the forerunner of modern art and fine arts education in the Philippines and produced generations of artists who have since dominated the Philippine art scene. In 1934, Edades invited fellow artists Galo B. Ocampo and Carlos Botong Francisco to collaborate with him in a mural for the lobby of the Capitol Theater in Escolta, Manila. This led to several collaborative projects and the growth of mural painting in the Philippines, and they eventually formed a group known as the Triumvirate of Modern Art. By 1938, Edades, along with Diosdado Lorenzo and Galo Ocampo, opened up the Atelier of Modern Art in Malate, Manila, resulting in the formation of the 13 Moderns, considered the pioneers of modern art in the Philippines. Edades received many awards for his contribution to Philippine art. The Pro Patria Award, given during the Rizal Centennial Celebration in 1961, and the Patnubay ng Sining at Kalinangan Award from the City of Manila in 1964. In 1976, Edades was named National Artist for Painting. On March 7, 1985, Edades passed away in Davao, leaving behind him a priceless legacy in Philippine modern art. His groundbreaking art, which awed his contemporaries and was admired by his followers, will undoubtedly serve as an inspiration to generations of Filipino artists in years to come. This episode of My City, My SM, My Art let us know more about the life and times of national artist Victorio Edades, a great Filipino master and the father of modern art. We also met Davao's talented artists who keep Edades' legacy alive. In behalf of SM, the Metropolitan Museum of Manila, National Commission for Culture and the Arts, Shell Philippines, Center Stage Production, and the Philippine Star, we wish to thank you for joining us in My City, My SM, My Art. This is your host, Joey. Join us next month as My City, My SM, My Art goes to SM City, Dasmariñas.